In our previous lesson, we understood how urbanization played a very important role in the development of rural settlements. How it changed rural settlements into permanent and large settlements, which eventually grew as urban settlements. So urban settlements is what could be associated with cities and towns. Now all these have both positive and negative effect or impact on our lives. As a whole, we could say that urbanization has both a positive and negative impact on our lives. Let's see what are these impacts. Now, urban cities or urban areas are where people have access to enough resources and facilities. Now, these include improved living conditions, better education, improved medical facilities, good transport system, and communication facilities. So these could be counted as some of the positive impacts of urbanization. The government aims to come up with good, strong education and medical facilities so that people could have a dignified and high standard of living, where they could enjoy their lives along with their good career. So this is what is promised in an urban settlement, and these could be counted as positive impacts of the same. As we learnt in our previous lesson that urbanization and industrialization are two sides of the same coin. So they both influence each other. In a place where industrialization has come up earlier, it eventually leads to the urbanization of that region. So with the growth of industries, there are more job opportunities, and it also attracts people from the surrounding region. This creates a pressure on the existing resources, and to fulfill the needs and make a balance of these resources, industries work harder and expand more. So you see that industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. So due to this, these promote development of technology and create job opportunities for all the people living there. Now, if we take a look at the map of India, it shows us places where the per capita income has increased. Now, why so? So, with the growth of industries and with public and private sector expanding every day and night, it has led to the growth of services and availability of jobs in urban areas. Now, due to availability of jobs and enough services available to the people, it has led to the increase in per capita income. So here we have a map that shows us places in India that has a high per capita income. That is, places where there is growth of services and enough resources are available at the hand of every person there. So these places include Puducherry, Kerala, Goa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Delhi, Chandigarh, Punjab and Haryana. So these are the places where, due to enough growth of services and availability of resources, the per capita income has increased. So the standard of living has increased for people, and they have better prospects of livelihood. So before we proceed with the lesson, could you help me with this simple question? Does growth of services and availability of jobs in urban areas increase per capita income? What could be the answer? The correct answer is, it is true. Yes is the correct answer. The growth of services and the availability of jobs in urban areas do increase the per capita income. So here is a list of positive impacts of urbanization, and these include educational facilities, as I mentioned earlier, job opportunities, increase in per capita income, higher standard of living, growth of industries, expansion of import-export business. As industries are growing, so there is expansion in the import-export market, and this also brings in foreign exchange. That is the opportunity to work with companies and international brands or international trading centers. And also, we have the advantage of cultural diversity. Now, as I mentioned, as urban areas expand, it calls in or it leads to the migration of people into the country or into the particular region. And this leads to cultural diffusion or cultural diversity. People from different regions come along with their distinctive culture, and when they settle down in a particular area, there is a cultural exchange between the people, and this helps to live them in peace and harmony. So these are the different positive impacts of urbanization. However, we should not forget that there is other side of the coin too. Urbanization and development is inevitable. People from rural areas travel or migrate to urban areas for better prospects of living, for better job opportunities. Now, this creates a pressure on the existing resources and the government. The government has to look after and fulfill different needs of power supply, education, health facilities, job opportunities, housing, and many such facilities. So they need to be careful that in doing so, they shouldn't fail and people should have enough availability of such resources. This brings us to the other side of the coin. 1 in 4 of working age group live in slums. Slums are where people live in very poor condition and have a low standard of living. The Dharavi slum in India is one of the largest slums in the heart of the city of Mumbai. Here people, around 1 million people, live in 1 square mile area. Now they do not have access to proper sanitation and hygiene, and they live a very low quality life. For living, they earn and they work in factories, bakeries, and also in processing of paper and waste management. There is no access to drinking water, and the living conditions are so poor that they cannot afford the living out of a simple day-to-day work. They have to exist here and survive in whatever condition that is. The government needs to focus on such slums, and they also need to better the conditions of people living here. Due to such slums and inefficient management techniques, there is accumulation of waste. And this accumulation of waste increases due to rising population in cities. People are careless on waste management, and even after having access to enough resources and facilities, they on their part be very careless on not keeping their environment clean. This leads to enough industrial and household waste that accumulates and can be a big problem for the future generation. What you just heard was a day-to-day experience of any person living in an urban area or in a city rather. So such noise pollution and congestion can lead to a very stressful life. There are various health diseases associated with such places that are so congested and have such high level of noise pollution. So the traffic congestion in a city can be very, very stressful, and there are various symptoms that people suffer because of traffic congestion. These symptoms may include breathing issues due to air pollution, headache due to so much of noise pollution, mental stress, hearing loss, sweating, tiredness, suffocation, dust allergy and eye problem, and many other such symptoms and disorders that could lead to a very stressful life. So traffic congestion is one of the most common problems that any person living in an urban area experiences in a day-to-day basis. This is not only harmful for the environment but also for the people and the animals living or surviving in the urban areas. Just like traffic congestion, there are various lifestyle disorders that we see in urban areas, and that can lead to common diseases like diabetes and migraine. Besides such stressful symptoms and common diseases like diabetes and migraine, rapid urbanization also limits naturally available resources. Due to influx of such huge population, the pressure on resources like land availability decreases, and due to which the value of land increases as the cities become more and more developed. Because of this problem, there are various places where accommodation becomes very, very difficult and housing becomes a big issue. So, rapid urbanization means limited naturally available resources, which affects the overall quality of life. The city of Mumbai in India is a place where we can find highest rent or accommodation is very, very difficult and very expensive in a city like Mumbai. Same goes for Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a place where the highest accommodation all around the world could be seen. So these places make accommodation very difficult and affects the overall quality of life. Now, because of the effect on the overall quality of life, because of such pressure on resources, all the people cannot afford the available resources and facilities, due to which they sometimes switch to unfair means of earning. Now, this generally can be associated with middle and low income group people. So there's an increase in theft, abduction, and many other such crimes that is a result of increasing pressure and as a consequence of rapid urbanization. It is quite unfortunate that rapid urbanization that has such extreme merits also has such extreme demerits. Now here we have a bar graph that shows us the total crime in 2020. Now as per this, it shows us that there are 10 top cities that were known for highest cases per million population in 2020. Unfortunately, here we have the most developed and urbanized cities of India that are in the list of top 10 cases per million population. These cities include Delhi. Delhi, as we know, is the capital city of India. And besides being the capital city, is one of the most developed cities where people go in for job opportunities and higher education. However, it tops the list when it comes to the number of crimes that take place in urban areas. It's quite unfortunate that such a city that provides such job opportunities and better prospects of living is the same city that tops the list of the total number of crimes. So after Delhi, we also have other top cities that are highly developed but are in the same list. And this includes Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Surat, Pune, Bangalore, Jaipur, Hyderabad, and finally Kolkata. As we all are aware that these are some of the cities where people look up to and people travel to or migrate to for a better standard of living. Unfortunately, they can be listed down in also the top crimes of India. Besides these crimes, cybercrime also took a peak during the COVID-19 period. So cybercrime rose rapidly in 2020, where more people started working from home. During the COVID period, especially during the lockdown, people were mostly on digital platforms, and this led to various cybercrimes which grew rapidly during this period. So we see all these cities are victim of the rapidly increasing cybercrime during the COVID-19 period. We see that some of the cities that were most affected by the cybercrime were among 36 to 162 million cases per million, and these include Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Karnataka, and Uttar Pradesh. So we saw how urbanization that is beneficial and has been quite influential on our lives has both positive and negative impacts. Let us point out or summarize the negative impacts of urbanization. These may include increase in the population density, which eventually increases the pressure on resources and makes life difficult for the already existing population. We have limited resources, as I just mentioned, higher competition. So as population increases, there are higher competition in every sector, and because of this high competition, people are switching to illegal methods, to unfair means, and it also is destroying the overall development of the nation. We also have expensive accommodation, as I mentioned. Due to limiting of resources, the value of land increases to a great extent, which makes accommodation very difficult. Then we have increase in pollution and stress due to traffic congestion and inefficient waste management techniques. We have growth of slums. Dharavi slum, being one of the largest slums in India, is a very good example where government needs to put full focus and work towards improving these slum areas. Then we have increase in crime rate, as we just discussed now. And finally, we have exploitation of job seekers. Now, due to the population getting denser, the availability of jobs gets limited, and because of which there is exploitation of the job seekers. The job seekers or the job aspirants are asked to work for extra hours at low wage. So these were the negative impacts of urbanization. Even with such extreme merits and demerits, urbanization is very important and inevitable, right? Because it helps people from across the world to live together and socialize or interact and exchange their culture. This helps them to live together and live peacefully. So, urbanization that is inevitable has to be done smartly. We need to work towards sustainable urbanization so that a long-term benefit could be acquired from urbanization. So planned urbanization is what we need to work towards. In this lesson, we understood how urbanization has both positive and negative impact. It has an extreme of both. However, it being inevitable and so important is what we need to keep in mind, and thus, in every possible way, make it sustainable and good for all of us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.